going to be sharing the screen with you now so that we can get started. Right now, I will mute you, then I will unmute you when I need you to talk because of the background noises. Is that taken? Okay.
Yes.
Now, go to the topic we have for today. The topic is factorization. Factorization. Now, we just need to look at the exact meaning of factorization. Well, it simply means when you're given some expression in mathematics, some mathematical expressions, you have to look at the terms that were given, the values that were given. Look at what is common to them, then separate it, remove what is common to them to one side. And that is the meaning of factorization. Let's take examples. Addition. I want you to please pay attention. So example 1. Let's assume you want to factorize something like 16x plus 40. 16x plus 40. Let me write that out now. So if you want to factorize 16x, yes, 16x plus 40. You have to factorize. You're going to look at the two terms. The first is 16x and the second is 40. You're going to look at, is there anything that is common to them? Yeah. And it must be the biggest that can come. So 8 is the biggest number that can divide 16, that can as well divide 40. But 40 doesn't have x, so x is not common. So 8 is common to both of them. Then I can say 16x plus 40 is simply the same thing as when I divide 16 by 8, it's going to remain 2x. And I divide 40 by 8, it's going to remain 5. It's going to become 5. So this is the answer for this. Such that if I expand it back, because the opposite of factorization is expansion. If I expand it back, it must give me what I started with. That is 8 times 2x must be 16x. And 8 times 5 must be 40. So let's look at another example under factorization. So assume we have ux plus vx. Yeah, you want to factorize that ux plus vx. Okay, the two you want to factorize ux plus vx. So you see that first term is ux, second term is vx. So x is common to them, then you say equal to x into u plus v. X into u plus v. So that is the answer to that. Then number 3. Let's assume you have something here to factorize, like you have x squared minus x. Yes, you want to factorize x squared minus x. So how do you go about that? Factorize x squared minus x. You will discover, please face your camera and be careful. You will discover that we have x here and we have x here too. So since there is x on both sides, it's x that is common. So you put x here, then once this has been divided by x, it remains only 1x. Then once this has been divided by x, it becomes 1, because x over x is 1, a over a is 1, b over b is 1, so this is minus 1. such that if I want to expand it, I'm going to say x times x is x squared and x times 1 is x. So please, I advise that you don't miss the explanation. Number 4, advise that you don't miss the explanation, so that means you should not write while explaining. Number 4, 2x squared y minus 8x y squared. 2x squared y minus 8x y squared. So 2x squared y minus 8x y squared. We're going to look at it. What is common to this side and this side? We can see 2 and 2 can divide this. You can see x and x is here, and see y and y. So I have 2xy common. So xy is common to the two sides. You are not following the explanation. Okay. I'm going to give you some questions along as we go. So 2xy is there. Once I remove 2, I remove the x, I remove y, I remain only one x here. I have negative. So when I use 2 to divide 8, I have 4 here. So 4, then x already divide x, and y divide this, I have only y. So this is the answer to that. So number 5 is. So for the fifth one, let's assume you have something like minus 6x minus 12x plus 15. Okay, not even x this time around. Minus 6x minus 12y plus 15z. Minus 6x minus 12y plus 15z. Let's put it down there. So minus 6x 12y plus 15z. It's actually supposed to be plus or minus. So minus 12y plus 15. So I change that to be minus 12y plus 15z. So minus 12y plus 15z. I want to factorize this. Look at this. X is here. There's no x here. There's no x here. Y is here. There's no y here. There's no y here. And z is here. So I can't factorize any of the alphabet because they're not common. So that means I have to look for a number that can divide them all through and factorize that number. And probably I can also factorize with a negative sign. So if I factorize with negative sign, this becomes positive, this becomes positive, while this returns to negative. So I can say the number that can, the highest number that's going to divide all of them, which is like the HCF, is 3. So I have negative 3 into, when you divide this by 3, you have 2x. And negative is already taken out, so you have just positive 2x. Then, if you divide it by 3, you have 4y, so positive 4y. 4y, positive 4y. Then, when you divide this by 3, you have 5. It won't be positive again, to be negative, because negative because we have taken negative outside the bracket. So this is going to be negative 5z, such that, please look at it, please look at what I'm explaining, such that if I say I want to expand it and see whether it's going to give me what's on the left hand side, I will say negative 3 times positive 2x is going to give me negative 6x. Then if I say negative 3 times positive 4y, it's going to give me negative 12y. And if I say negative 3 times negative 5z, it's going to give me positive 15z. So take note of that. And there is something you should take note of there. When negative multiplies negative, it gives positive. But when negative multiply positive, it is negative, and if it is positive that multiply negative, it's also negative. And finally, if positive multiplies positive, it's always positive. So take note of that. You can unmute yourself now and tell me if you have any question on any of these.
No, sir, I don't have any question.
Okay, it's very clear. So we move on to another dimension. So thank you. I'm going to clear the screen soon. Then we'll move on to another kind of samples there. So I have another example, which will be example 6. Like I have, let me see. I want to factorize this. I want to factorize x squared plus 7x plus 12. X squared plus 7x plus 12. Let's see. Share the screen. So number 6. Number 6. So please look at it. Number 6. Factorize x squared plus 7x plus 7x plus 6 or minus 6 there. Let me see. Oh, plus 12. X squared plus 7x plus 12. So let's see. Plus 12. Now, please pay attention to this. I'm waiting for you. Pay attention to this. I'm waiting for you to face the camera. Pay attention to this. Now, before you lay your hand on this, consider how many terms you have there. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to find a way of turning it to be 4 terms by dealing with the middle term. I repeat that. Find a way of turning it to become 4 before you factorize by dealing with the middle term. And what are you to do with the middle term? Very simple. Find 2 numbers. 2 numbers, A, you will multiply by the second number B, number A to multiply by B to give us the third term, which is this constant here, to give us 12, and the same A will be added to B to give us 7, which is the middle number. Now, 2 numbers to multiply to give us the third component, and the same 2 numbers that you will have to give us the second component of the 3 terms, the 3 items. So if I have to ask you now, since I'm talking about multiplication for this third item, I'll be asking you what are the factors of 12? What are the things I'll multiply to give me 12? Now please look up. Please look up. All these are, look up please. 1 times 12 will give me 12. 2 times 6 will give me 12. 3 times 4 will give me 12. So apart from this combination, is there any other multiplication that gives us 12? I doubt if there is any. I mean, talking about whole numbers. So let's now check. That means our answer for A and B could be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, or 3 and 4. But remember, we said our A and B must be added to give us 7. And that means this is the only one we can choose. So A can be 3, and B can be 4. It can be 4, such that we say 3 times 4 gives us 12, and 3 plus 4 gives us 7. So what are you now to do with what you have found, the 3 and the 4? You are to use them to replace the middle term. That's why I said you are dealing with the middle term. 3 plus 4 give me 7. So this equation now becomes x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 12. I mean, this expression becomes this. So you can see, what I have here is what I have here. I have not changed anything. The only thing I have changed is that I splitted 7x into 2, and it has not reduced the equation, the expression. It has not increased the expression. Here now, it is easy for us to factorize. Now, pair them like this to factorize. You're now going to say, what is common to the two items here? X is common. So once you remove X from here, you have X. Once you remove X from 3, you have 3. And what is common to this side too? Please make sure you're looking at it. What's common to this side? X is here, but X is not here. But 4 is here and 4 is common too. So that means I can say plus 4 into, once you remove the 4 here, you have this. And once you divide this by 4, you have 3. Now, this is another step, but that is not your final answer. Because this side is being separated by plus, positive sign to this side. So this side and this side, what is common? X plus 3 is here, X plus 3 is here. So I have to say X plus 3 is common. So when I remove X plus 3 from this side, I have only X left. And when I remove X plus 3 from this side, I have positive 4. So this is my final answer. Now, unmute yourself and talk. If you have any question or if it's clear to you, let me know.
I don't have any question.
You don't have any question. Very good. So I'm going to give you one to try now. Put this down while I give you a question to try, so that you can be certain that you know what this, or maybe one or two questions to try. So the first question I'm giving you two questions to try anyway. So first question I'm going to give you is to factorize x squared minus 64. Right, so try this. Exercise. Exercise 1. Factorize x squared minus 64. Then the second question, you have to factorize 6x squared plus 15x minus 21. Hold on, please. Let me check something there.
I don't like the way you move.
So you have to factorize 4x squared plus 4x minus 15. Yes. 4x squared plus 4x minus 15. So 4x squared plus 4x minus 15. So if you're through with your first answer or the two answers, you let me know. So I have the solution here. Yes, are you through now? Or let's check it together. Unmute yourself, but make sure there is no noise, because I muted you because of the noise. The noise was so much. So unmute yourself now, and now for the first one, what is your answer, or which step are we to follow? Look at the camera and talk. Yes, we have x squared minus 64. So do you have any idea what you're supposed to do? Yes. Do you have any idea what you're supposed to do for number one? No.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So please focus on it. Please focus so that whenever you see things like this, we said in order to factorize, you must look for what is common, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
But here now, it seems nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, here it seems nothing is common. So it seems there is no way, but there is a way. Okay? There is a way. So there is a square on this, and there can be a square on this too.
Yes, sir.
Which means x squared minus 8 squared. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, the square is now common, but there is a principle in mathematics that says there is something they call difference of two squares. What do I call it?
Difference of two squares.
Two squares. Yes, two squares. Difference of two squares. This is a square. This is another square. Am I finding the sum or the difference? Am I finding the sum?
The difference.
The difference. Very good. So whenever you see anything that are two squares and you are finding difference, all you need to say is, let's assume it is a square minus b square. Then your answer must be a plus b into a minus b. Even if it's m and n, m square minus n square, your answer must be m plus n into m minus n. So the answer to this factorization will be what? X plus 8 into what? Into what?
8 x minus 8.
Very good. X minus 8, which you're following. So, but what about the second one? Do you have any clue of how to do the second question? Which is 4x squared. It's 4x minus 15. So do you have any?
Look for.
You want to look for what? Okay, you want to look for the numbers, right? Can
How
I
to
hear
break
you?
the middle one down?
Yes, how to break the middle one. Now, please look
Yes,
for.
sir.
This is different
Yes,
from
sir.
the example here. It's different from the example I solved for you. The 5 examples or the few examples I solved, you did not see any number, particularly the 5th example, there's no number beside the x square or whatever square. But here, you have a number, okay? Now,
Yes, sir.
since you have a number, it is that number you firstly deal with. You're going to use it to multiply the third term, which is making it 60. So I have 4 times negative 15 gives me negative 60. So instead of dealing with 4 and negative 15, I'll be dealing with 4 and negative 60. The middle number 4 and the third term, the new third term, which is 60. But I'm not going to replace it. I'm just going to have it at the back of my mind that I'm not dealing with 15, but I'm dealing with what? 60. I'm not dealing with negative 15, but I'm dealing with negative 60. Where did I get negative 60 from? I used the number here. Even the one I did before, there was a number at the beginning, but the number is 1. That's why if you use 1 to multiply that third term, it doesn't change it. That's why I didn't mention it. Is that clear? Now,
Yes, sir.
so once we multiply this is what we are dealing with. Now let's look at two numbers that will multiply. Will multiply to give us negative 60, and we will add to give us 4. Positive 4. So what are those two numbers that when we multiply them, it gives negative 16, and if we, so we have to look at all the probably what we multiply to give us 60.
16.
So I can have
1 times
30, then 2 and what? I mean 1 times 60, 2 and what? 30, 3 and what? 20. But there is no way you add all of this to give us 4. So 4 and 15, 5 and what? 12. Then 6 and 6. Okay. Then
6 times 10.
I mean 6 and 10 rather. Not 6. 6 and 10. Then there's nothing more. Is there anything more there that we want to multiply to give us? So definitely we should look at this, because we're looking at a negative 60. So if I have 10 minus 6, I will have 4. Then if I have 10 times minus 6, I will have negative 60. Or let me undo that and write that first one properly, and so that you can see that we are actually adding and we are not subtracting. So if I have 10 plus negative 6, positive 10 and negative 6, that will give me positive 4. Then if I have the same 10 times negative 6, I have negative 60. So in this, guys, we can say the two numbers we are using are what? 10 and negative 6. So we'll use it to replace the middle one, but we will not remove the number from this. We will not change this to 60. So it now becomes 4x squared plus 10x minus 6x minus 15. 10x minus 6x still give me 4x. So I have not changed these two expressions. They are still the same thing. So I can now talk about how to factorize. Compare them for factorization now, and say what is common to this side? 2x is common. So 2x into, once you divide this by 2, you have 2x left. Once you divide this by 2x, you have just 5 left. Then I can now say what is common to this? 3 is common, negative 3. Okay, if I now say, if I remove negative 3 from all of them, it will now be minus of my negative 3. Or if I remove negative, okay, I can't just close this bracket. Don't forget that, because of the negative that's outside, because negative belongs to 6. Is that taken? Yes, so when I now remove the negative outside, negative 3, then the 6 can now become positive, positive 2x, because you have to divide the 6 by 3.
By 3.
Yes, positive 2x. Then you divide then this is now positive, since we have, this is now positive because we have removed the negative outside. So this now becomes 15 over 3 is 5. So again, on this side and on this side, we have 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5, which is common. Then you can say 2x plus 5 is now common. Then we have 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3. So that becomes our answer. Yeah, is that clear to you now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is where we're going to be ending the class for today. Then tomorrow, by the grace of God, we continue with our English studies. So, are you still writing?
Okay.
Or you are done?
I'm done.
Okay, that's very good. So, you have a nice day ahead of you today, okay?
Thank you.
All right.